All right, so we're gonna get rid of what we just did because that hack will break our attempts to actually load the correct rooms. So this code I was putting in here, this sort of just assigning the variables manually, true and false values, I don't want to do that because I will override whatever the actual correct answers are. So I'm just going to delete those right now. Goodbye. Make sure you do that as well. I'll save it. It's gone. So what we really need to do, though, is look into the map and look at the surrounding pixels of whatever pixel represents our room and look for black pixels. And if it's black, we can set, say the one above us is black, we can set north to true. The one below us is black, we can set south to true, and so on. So the question is, how do you look into the map and do that sort of analysis of colors? So it's actually, processing is so set up for this. It's amazing that we have these functions available to us. I'm going to write a function called switch room. This is one thing where because it's the first time I'm doing this, I'm not sure 100% if that's what I really want to finish calling it. But basically, I want this function to happen whenever I switch rooms. It's going to load what are the correct exits. So right now, we're not really switching rooms yet, but I'm going to call it switch room. And that's where we're going to end today. I'll just write this function, and hopefully, it'll go OK. So here we go. I'm going to write void switch room. This is in the play tab, because it's sort of part of the game playing. So here's my play function. Down here, I got my play clicks. And just below that, I'm going to put in void switch room. I do want to put it as a separate function so that I can trigger it from different places. I want to trigger it from the hero class, honestly. When the hero has a collision with a door, I want to trigger the switch room. And I think that'll go nicely. So in switch room, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in the map, and I'm going to look above and below and to the left and to the right and assign those variables values. So the way you do that is with the .get function. A p-image, you can access the pixels of a particular location with the .get function. Come on in, folks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say color north, color south. I'm going to just get the colors at these different locations. Color east and solar? Nope, color. And color west. So I'm going to basically be getting the color out of the map. Where do I get the color from? Well, I'm looking north. So that's going to be above where I currently am. Where am I currently? It's at 1, 1, yeah. Although it's room X and room Y specifically is where I'm at. Because it might not be 1, 1 later on. So I'm going to use map.get room X and room Y. That would be my current color. Actually, maybe I'll just get that just to represent it. So color, like, what's the word for where you are right now? Like here? Like room? I don't know. Start? Current? I don't know. There's so many possible. Can I just say here? Is that cool if people get what I'm saying? This would be getting the color of where I am right now. This might matter in the future. Right now, all of our rooms are just black pixels, but I'd like to code it up later on where maybe like a red room means something and a blue room means something. So I am going to get here. That is the current room. What's the room to the north? Well, it's room Y minus 1. Y minus 1 because processing Y coordinates upside down. So if I want to look to the room above me, I can do room Y minus 1. X is still going to stay the same, right? I'm looking up, so that changes Y. What's going to be south? Shout it out. Room map.get, what is it? Yeah, room X and room Y plus 1. You got it, because we're looking down. What's going to be east? Yeah, it's going to be room X plus 1. And then room Y will not change. It's staying the same that way. So room, there's a lot of lag going on here. I'm not sure why, but that's okay. Room Y will just be the one that stays the same. And then for west, it's just, oh wait, is that right? East is, yeah, it is right. I should just trust you guys. You know what you're doing. Map.get, now it's going to be room X minus 1 and room Y. So that will grab all the colors of the pixels surrounding you in the map. And I really got to stress that right now that we're looking in the map, right? Here's 1, 1. I'm looking above, I'm looking below, I'm looking to the right, I'm looking to the left. It's in the map that I'm looking, because that is sort of the legend, the key of where all my exits are. So then, after I do that, I could now ask some questions. I can say now, if north, and so you can do a couple things. You can say if it equals black. I have black in my palette. If you don't have a black variable, this will be a little bit hard. So if you go to your main tab, notice I have a color variable called black. You should probably go add one in right now. I also have one called white. And I'm going to save myself some trouble right now. I'm actually not going to use if it equals black, because I intend on making red rooms and green rooms and purple rooms and all sorts of rooms. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to say not does it equal black. I'm going to say if it doesn't equal white. So that way, if it's red, black, green, you name it, as long as it's not white, that means there's a room there. So I can set n to true. And if south is not equal to white, then that means there's a room there. So I'll set south to true. And if east is not, you can do the rest. East equals true. And if west not equal to white. And this is the not equal operator, by the way. It's exactly what it sounds like. It means it's not white if it's not that color. West equals true. So now I have a function that will take a look at where I am in the map and look at the surroundings and assign the correct rooms. We still have to call this function. Right now I've just coded the function, but this function doesn't happen unless I call the function. So where do I call the function? Well, right now I'm going to call the function in my setup, because that's the only place where I do anything with the room. So once you've coded that up, I'm going to go to over here on my main tab. I'm going to go down to setup, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to say switch room. So if I run this, what do I expect to see? Well, you have to figure out what you expect to see, but I expect to see one door, right? I should have white pixels everywhere, but on the right. So let's see if I run it, if that happens. And you should do a similar sort of testing for yours. If I run it, do I get one door? I do. Now, it doesn't mean it works. Next step is for me to change these numbers. I'm going to manually change these numbers to move to the next room over. If I move one over, I should see, what should I see? I don't know. If I move it to be room X to be 2, I expect to see 3 doors, right? I should see one to the left, one to the right, and one down. So I'm going to manually change those numbers. And honestly, movement is just the changing of those numbers. Sorry, I got out of here. So I'm going to change room X to 2. Do I see south, left, and right? South, east, and west. I'll run it. I'm kind of manually moving around by changing the numbers. Hey, it works. So it seems like it's working. I haven't verified north yet, so I'll probably go to room 22, so I'll see up and down. I'll see north and south. Does it make sense why I'm seeing north and south at these different coordinates, or north, south, or whatever the things I'm seeing? Hey, it works. So it seems like it's working for me. Also do that step to test it to verify it's working. There's one last thing to do. Gosh, we got 7 minutes. Should we do it? Do we have time? I don't think we have time. I think we're going to pause there. We won't try and rush it. Next class, we'll start with getting your character to actually, when it moves to the door, it will actually change these numbers so that you do actually move to that next room. It's just going to be collisions. We've done collisions for half the year, right? Is the ball hitting the target, hitting the paddle? Is the ball hitting the brick in Brick Breaker? It's going to be the same math that we're going to do, except that we're going to be testing to see, are we touching these circles? And if we touch these circles, the consequence will be we change the values of these numbers, and then we switch room. We run the switch room function. You might be able to write that all on your own, but no pressure. Don't feel like you have to do it. We'll do it together next class. Thanks so much, everybody. We are getting there.